Hey. Good afternoon from me to you, my friends. I was going to say friends and family, and yes, you are family here. You are here for another broadcast. You may be coming in live on Facebook, or you are listening as you're driving, jogging, or hey, maybe you're having dinner. Uh, which hopefully you'll be alone at that point listening to my voice speaking at you. Welcome to Media and Marketing, and another broadcast where we're going to talk about, well, media and marketing. But today specifically, we're going to talk about how to sell online using words. In fact, words that sell is the topic. And this particular broadcast is centered around the notion that you are essentially, when you are creating materials online for consumptions and ultimately sales, you are a salesman in print. You know, this is a way for you to share your goods, your services, your products, essentially, that you can sell using words, phrases, sentences. We call this copy in the marketing context. You know, what's your copy? What's your ad copy? What's your landing page copy? You know, what is your angle? What are your hooks? What's your storyline? What is the messages? What's the call to actions? Is this all centered around, you know, really three areas, which is the first one is your target audience. You know, so what are you asking or presenting to that target audience? Second thing is, you know, that message succinctly should be targeted to that audience with a formula that we often refer to as AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and action, or PAS, problem, agitate, solve, or solution, right? There's different formulas that we use in the copywriting realm here. Of course, there's many angles to this, but ultimately this will get you 80%, maybe 90% there. And then finally, the third thing is call to action. You know, what is it that you want them to do? What is the goal? What's the objective, essentially? And, you know, one interesting note that I saw today, I forget where I saw it, but it makes a world of sense, is a lot of marketers don't mind the marketing piece, right? Meaning, hey, I'll create traffic, I'll create leads for you, I'll do all your marketing. You know, in fact, if you are a marketer and you're the business owner or entrepreneur or part of a larger group, you love doing the work. I mean, I'm very passionate about this myself and what we do at the agency. And you know, welcome to take a look there. You can see it up on the screen there, chaosmap.com, quick pitch, chaosmap.com. That's what we do at the agency. It's a digital marketing agency. Focus a lot on paid ads and, of course, SEO, content, etc. But really, growth is the specialty. But then when you do these things, one of the things that really is just part of the, you know, exciting outcome of this is sales. So you love to market, but you kind of forget the sales piece, you know, a little bit shy about asking for the sale. Well, today we're going to cover this. And I wanted to also, as you can see here, talk about this specific book, which is from Richard Bayan, called Words That Sell. And you should get the latest edition. Actually, I have a hard copy here in my hand, and that's from a few years ago, but it's been upgraded and it's on Amazon. You can see it right there. And one of the things that I really like about this book, and we use it as a reference guide, we just have this out all the time, is that it gives you ideas. It's like a thesaurus, essentially, for words that sell, you know, allowing you to convey that message that really speaks to the audience, as I said, but trying to attract them and make the words exciting, engaging, you know, basically slogans, words, phrases, all of these things that not only, you know, help you create that engagement, gives you more ideas to create breakthrough copy in your business. And you definitely want this to be a confident, rejuvenated way for you to expand your copy. So that's really the quick pitch for, you know, words that sell. Just get it. It's a small guide. It's let's see, this one here is like 120 pages, and it's well written. Well, no pun intended on that, actually. But it's a lot of basically lists of words that you can use and that you can flip through. And it's categorized by the type of sort of emotion that you're trying to create out there. So really a phenomenal resource. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to repeat what you have heard in prior episodes, but a little different angle to this from the book as we're looking at it here. is, how do you best write your copy, right? When you write, number one, don't lose sight of your primary goal to sell your product or service. That speaks to what I just said is, hey, I can market all day long, but what's the ultimate goal here? It's to sell your product or service. And again, this is a persuasion technique, right? We're not forcing or manipulating or being out of integrity here. You have a great product. You want to share your message with the world. You're a stand-up citizen, or netizen, as the old phrase goes, right? Well, then you need to sell your services. Make sure that they get that, right? So you want that in a brilliant, sort of smooth way, but also a direct way. We often mention the word direct response in this context because we want it to be responsive to that audience, and you want to write to sell. Number two, stress the benefits. We talk about this all the time. A lot of the ads that we go through when we start fixing them are listing features, not benefits. So we want the benefits. Number three, remember I talked about attention, interest, desire, and action. Number three is arouse interest. Starting with the headline, right? Your copy should continually pique their interest and move them through the funnel, the reading funnel, that is, right? So it's like the slippery slope concept here. The first line is written so that they read the next line. The next line is written such a way they need to read the third one, right? Number four, don't fill your copy with empty overstatements. So see this as a lot, right? And words that sell the book will really help you avoid this kind of noise and platitudes here galore, right? So number four, very, very key. Don't fill your copy with empty overstatements. Number five, be accurate. Get the facts straight. Yes, of course, no false claims or false advertising, but don't resist that temptation of distorting the facts. So that's a good one right there. Number five, be specific, and you want that to be very direct. If you are selling strawberries, sell strawberries. Don't mix in blueberries. It's very, very specific. Plus, if you're selling to strawberry people, you don't want to be shoving blueberries down their face. Although, of course, if it's written well, you might be able to have a follow-up sequence that say, hey, if you like strawberries, you might like blueberries, right? So, just be specific and be organized around that, which is actually number seven. Be organized, that it has a logical flow from the headline to the clincher, right? And essential information inside the body of the copy should be called out clearly as well. Don't bury it inside there. So it's kind of classic with the movie arc, right? The what you see in pictures. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So it's organized. It's well structured. Number eight, write for easy reading. This is an obvious one when we talk to clients, but interestingly enough, this is where folks get really cute and want to throw in fancy words and stuff. You want this to be clear, uncluttered, involving and persuasive, but also not overly technical. Again, that can come later, but it's, third, fourth, fifth grade kind of English really works well for marketing or using words that sell. Appealing to the emotions rather than the intellect. You've heard about this before as well, that we buy with our emotion, not our logic, even though we might think it's actually reverse. And so this cerebral approach actually is going to make your reader nod in admiration and focusing on what's happening next. But you want to make sure that you have a mix here, not just all the emotional triggers, but enough to where they can say ultimately this: yes, I want that, right? And number 10 should be obvious, but we'll call it out as we're seeing it on here as well. Don't offend. And you can use humor and controversial, aspects, but typically you don't get into this. You don't get too deep on this unless it's specifically called out as the goal and the angle. For instance, in the finance world, you may actually call somebody out direct, but don't preach. You can be direct, as I said, but try to be of a more sunny disposition and aim to please, right? Talk about that problem, agitate, solve formula that I talked about earlier. You want to solve and help them right there. Number 11, make use of testimonials and reviews. I'm not going to even get into that. That is so obvious. It's social proof. Others who have used your services and products, they need to be called out. And of course, you need to ask for permission for that. And what better sales weapon there than having somebody on a video talking about you and how glorious you are, as well as your services and your products, and couldn't recommend you more. A+++, right? Number 12, ask for the customer's order. That gets right into the call to action. brief, high-powered statements that impels prospective customers to buy and tells them how, and that you let them off the hook before you've closed the sales. That's what often happens, is what I'm saying. People tend to sort of say things like, and again, I'm generalizing when I say people say, I just see it so often, so that's why I'm generalizing, is, hey, we have this available, we have that available, oh, and also this, and then sort of just slack off on the actual hook, like, get it now, make sure that you're very clear and compelling at that point. Number 13, revise and edit your work, cut out all dead wood, etc. Every word should pull its weight. Advertising copy is like poetry in this respect. So you want to be your own critic, but you can let others, of course, read this out. One of the things that I do personally when I write copy is to actually print it out, take it with me. Sometimes I'll write things out depending on the length, but I'll read it out and listen to it. And I actually have done this in the past, not so much anymore, but I'll record it and see what it feels like, and actually record it. Maybe listen to it right at that moment, but let it sit. Listen to it that afternoon, or hey, even sleep on it. Turn it on the next morning. Amazing to listen back and see how you feel about the flow, the organization, the call to action points, the headlines. You could be spending a lot of time just on headlines. In fact, that's recommended. 10 to 20 headlines and distilling them down to the top 3, etc. These are things that you'll have to find out what works best for you. But clearly, having words that sell is going to be an essential piece to anything that you do online, and that you create it in such a way that, depending on where that prospect is in the customer journey, you're presenting the information at that time. So, I mentioned this a few episodes ago as well. If you're going out on your first date, there is no ring, there is no kiss, as soon as you meet, right? It's dinner time, it's a movie, there's a flow to it, and it's human psychology, it's human nature. We want to, essentially buy, but we don't want to be sold to. It's a fine balance, but it's an important balance, and it's a natural balance. So nothing there needs to be forced. The more it's forced, they're going to feel it, they're going to see it, and they're going to back off. They're not going to like your letter. And worst case, if this is an ad, they're going to make some, negative connotation about it, or even place a negative mark by saying, I don't want to see this ad, etc. That's true for Google as well, but Facebook takes that seriously. And if you get too many, you could actually have that account shut down, which also happens, right? And we've seen this a lot in other areas, and not for us yet, fortunately, but we see it with clients also. So if you have any questions about all of this, then you can head over to chaosmap.com at the agency. We'll happy to talk to you about that there. And also, if you are building out pages where you're trying to get folks to an event, whether it's a workshop, a seminar, an online event like a webinar or teleclass, etc., you can get to a free workshop that we're running right now at selloutmyevent.com. And we teach you how to do all these things, including, of course, Facebook advertising and driving traffic and leads to your world. That's at selloutmyevent.com. And how appropriate words that sell and sell out my event. Well, the word sell in this context matches the profile today in terms of the idea that I wanted to get across, which is get your words set up in a way that speaks to your audience and that they ultimately sell and engage and create lovely, powerful, exciting, jump up and down advocates for your business, because all of this creates goodness in the world. And that's what you want, create a difference in the marketplace for your friends, for your community, for your customers. And as I said, globally, if you choose to. All right. Well, Jan here once again, and happy Wednesday to you. Heading out here to do a little workout, and we'll leave it at that. And hey, make sure that you review the podcast, as I said, as in terms of starting it, whichever way you'd like to go. And if you place a review, I really appreciate that as well. Hey, take it easy. Have a good one. Jan out. Later.